lived in UK, but never forgot their roots. Surat Mourns death of couple, 4-year-old kid in Air India crash. The city that slept silently on Tuesday night stirred to an extraordinary moment of mourning as hundreds gathered outside Hasanji Kabristan in Haripura at 1:30 a.m. The occasion was tragic. The last rites of Akhil Nanababa, his wife Hannah Varaji, and their 4-year-old daughter Sarah, who lost their lives in the Air India plane crash on June 12. The family, though settled in the UK for decades, had deep roots in Surat's Bohra community and were brought home for their final journey. Despite being a British citizen, Akhil's family had long been woven into Surat's social and spiritual fabric through their charitable work, property holdings, and generations of community presence. The outpouring of grief reflected not just the shock of their untimely death, but the emotional bond the city still shared with them. In the crowd stood Abdullah Nanababa, a father hollowed by loss. He had just celebrated Eid al-Adha with his son's family days prior to the tragic crash. "What words are left now," he said, barely audible, adding that he had dropped them at Ahmedabad airport himself as they were flying to London. The crash came barely a day after Father's Day. "In the morning, I was a father. By evening, I was not," he said to a close family friend. Akhil, Hannah, and little Sarah had come to Surat for a short Eid holiday for just 6 days. "It was meant to be a joyful visit, and by all accounts, it was. They brought us happiness like a festival," said Abdullah. "Now, that joy is my memory." As the namaz-e-janaza funeral prayer was held, a sea of mourners, relatives, local clerics, activists, and neighbors filled the street. The quiet dignity of the crowd reflected the deep respect Akhil's family commanded. Though Akhil was raised abroad, those who met him described him as warm, soft-spoken, and always connected to his roots. "He never forgot Surat," said an old classmate of his father, adding that even when his accent changed, his humility did not. The Nanababa family had made Gloucester, UK, their home. Abdullah had returned to Surat nearly 15 years ago, but his wife and 4 sons continued to live in England. The family remained close despite the geography, the sons visiting Surat regularly, especially on religious occasions. Akhil's younger brother, Hamza, and mother Sajida had flown in from London upon hearing the news. It was in their presence that Akhil and Hannah were buried side by side, just after 2 am. Yet, not everything about the burial followed tradition. The Islamic practice of ghusl, ritual washing of the body, could not be performed due to procedural constraints after the crash. For many, especially close friends like Rashid, the absence of this sacred step left a void. It felt like something vital was missing, Rashid said. "The soul was gone, but the goodbye was incomplete," he added. Swipe left for next video. Later that day, another call came, this time from Ahmedabad. The remains of 4-year-old Sarah had been positively identified. In the evening, her tiny body too was brought to Hasanji Kabristan. The prayer was offered once more, the earth was turned once more, this time for the youngest among them. She was buried just beside her parents. 3 members of one family, a mother, a father, and a child, now rest in the same city they once came to celebrate Eid in. Latest blogs.